Advocate Michael the Archangel, we ask that you protect us both body and soul from the evil one, his followers, and anyone who will approach us tonight with malicious intent. Who will approach us tonight with malicious intent. The oil on your forehead. Slide across, slide across. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I like them.
Yeah, I thought it was Courtney at first. I'm like, hey, Courtney.
Oh, she lost weight.
Like, she's so quiet. She's like, she went inside. I'm like, oh, it's not. I mean, you guys heard. And on the way up, she goes, you're not going to believe it. She goes, my tire exploded up in Rocky Hill. And I'm like, oh. She goes, she's like, how convenient. That's kind of weird. Like, so at least we got you. Feel like there's.
People who lived here years ago when we moved out this summer, well, they moved out in June. In July, I was talking to my friends, just like one of my best friends, and then that. A week later, 2 weeks later, my best friend had a broken.
And he has a wife and a 3-year-old son. He's all excited. He moves in. His wife, she doesn't move in. Because so they sign a 1-year lease. They're gonna stay within
And they
years.
they cut out of their lease, they don't even.
They most of them, except for that one. So
Now, just because people have asked me, you guys have stayed here like what, almost 17 years?
16 years.
16 years?
16 years.
16. I know like a lot of it was you guys tried to
Another voice. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Not all heroes wear capes, you know.
He had a balcony with sliding glass doors. And he's all of a sudden, he said, I came home, he goes, I poured myself something to drink. And he goes, I turned the football game on. That's the refrigerator, I think.
No.
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 So
but before that,
Oh,
I heard a growl in my ear.
Growling?
Yeah. Right here.
This is gonna be an interesting night, because I can feel
Well,
right
I do
now.
remember, like, every time we had a camera on, nothing would happen, and then, because you just brought back a lot of memories when we were here the first time doing your investigation. And as soon as the cameras went off, that's when things would happen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
this thing, that's how smart this is. And then, this thing, that's how smart this is. And then, I lost it, and nobody knows. And it's just a weird thing, nobody knows how he died, because, they
50 years old. 50 years old.
he was 54 years old. He started drinking again, but the weird thing about it was, they, they were going back and forth, my father and I was fighting, so I called Boston up and I spoke to the medical examiner.
Did you just hear something?
There were footsteps over there, and then she went outside.
Yeah, that's like the fourth time.
Yeah, I've been hearing it. I didn't hear it.
I said, but guys, I said, you can't tell me in this day and age that somebody dies. You can't tell me how he died. I said, but guys, I said, you can't tell me in this day and age that somebody dies. You can't tell me how he died. I was hurt, but I was like, I didn't get it, because I was so close to him. I said, how does a guy like this just die? So I was hurt, but I was like, I didn't get it, because I was so close to him. I said, how does a guy like this just die? I got the call. She goes from Dr. Barron, we got to go put Mandy to sleep. And I was in tears, so I love that little dog. I got the call. She goes from Dr. Barron, we got to go put Mandy to sleep. And I was in tears, so I love that little dog. And so she died, just sitting there with a plate of food. She didn't choke, staring straight with her eyes wide open. So now, in 3 weeks, I had lost my brother. Those expensive rainbow vacuums. And I was trying to justify why I'm going to spend $3,000 on a vacuum that shoots up water, right? So, as I'm doing that, all of a sudden the phone rings, and my father, that's a whole other story. So, yeah, that's something really
Jay,
bad.
not to rush you,
Yeah, but anyhow, yeah, so
could we,
so
like,
that's,
look
yes.
through and show
Yes.
us, like, where, like, stuff is happening, so we can...
Yeah, so I can show you guys. I know I can get along with it because I've got 15 years.
I know.
Along with it because I've got 15 years.
I know.
So,
I know there's a lot.
I start talking to you guys. So, anyhow, we'll start on how things started out on as we were doing the progress, I would take photos. I really had to stop because people would say orbs or dust. But when we took photos, there was always a certain number of orbs. Laughing. So I told him to go buzz off in kind words, right? And I went back to work, and I kept remembering what the paranormal investigator said, stand your ground. So I said, you know what, I own this house, buzz off, and I start going back. You know what, I own this house, buzz off, and I start going back. We called in a local priest, and he went through the whole house, and he stood up here, and he said, see, he goes there. We called in a local priest, and he went through the whole house, and he stood up here, and he said, see, he goes there.
Can't take Janet anywhere.
There it is. It's fixed.
She goes, what do you mean he's gone? I said, I think he saw the devil. I said,
right in my ear. I heard it when you went outside, right in my ear. I heard a growl too. I told her.
They had one on here, it was like one of those, almost like a drop ceiling, but it was like one for, if it was for, almost like a drop ceiling, but it was like one for, if it was for, and it goes forever. So when we started in here, it was brand new, but as soon as the year went by, we had, sauce up here with everything going up there, the ceiling started blowing down. So all of a sudden, I poked it with a stick, the whole thing collapsed. So my friend Al got his sons and we re-sheetrocked it. And they just looked at me like, they can't imagine why you saw. So when my brother told me about what he saw, the same thing, it clicked on my head. We had that happen in here. It'd be pretty expensive. So one day we went in the spring to do work in the basement, and it'd be pretty expensive. So one day we went in the spring to do work in the basement, and
Every time, when it doesn't matter if you go alone, there's a pair or two of us. Paper shredding, door shutting, everything is horrible. That's why when we go to the bathroom, we try to do it together, and it still doesn't work.
is anybody else feel nauseated right now?
Yeah.
I feel really nauseated. I know, and I don't get nauseated.
Now, I have to ask you,
Yeah.
is this where your old bedroom used to be?
No, our bedroom was on the other side.
Okay.
And
All right.
but this turned into a hotspot. So a quick rundown with Al. Al, his first day to come over to help me, he pulls up on the front, his tire shreds. Boom. So the first day we spent changing his tire, I had a babysitter watching the kids. Calling him for supper, he says, okay, we got that done. Came over, started helping me. Then all of a sudden he caught pneumonia. Did you just?
Yeah, I heard that.
That was
A lot of the sound is coming from this.
That was not in my head, right?
No.
I heard something over there.
It's coming from here too. I tell you, this room over here, there's a lot coming out of it.
I'm talking fast.
Yeah, no, I told her I had a woman's voice in my ear, and then the girl came from out of there too. Yeah.
Is that the spot that you had the solder come into your face too?
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you that. So Al, he caught pneumonia, survived that. He was out of work for almost a month. Talked to his wife. I said,
Just now again.
I just heard it.
I told you.
He starts working back here.
No, it's coming out of this room. She heard it from this room.
Like I said, this building we worked on was an 18-story building, so I was worried about it. So I found Al.
I have a good hearing, so I can, I'm hearing steps.
Yeah, I heard the steps too.
Where's your sister in the house? My sister's next door.
She's home with her mom.
Yeah, because there's constant footsteps going on over here.
When Janet and Jean were here, there was one orb in between both of them, circled around Janet. Janet's like, man, I don't feel good. And I went over that. And I heard a woman's voice in my ear, and it was just constant.
Flat tires, and so when the morning is the divorce, he says, I got goosebumps.
I've been telling you, there was a growl. Did you hear it? The growl first time downstairs was right in my ear, and the second time it was from here, that loud. Yeah, oh, just whispered again. It's whispering over here. I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff in this room.
I'm hearing footsteps, like somebody's running up and down the stairs.
I think this is where I feel number one.
Yeah, I think don't run out the window.
No, that'd be, I make sure it's the right window, because the ports are this one, not straight down,
All right, so the experience
Good to have a plan.
here was that thumping noise coming from, it was me and Tony, we were in your old bedroom.
Yeah.
And, everything was outside, or we were waiting for them to come in with cameras, and we heard a heavy thumping coming from the attic above us.
Yes.
And Bob was outside, I was like, Bob, somebody put upstairs in the attic. You guys had left.
We were gone.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Yeah, that's a famous Japanese ghost. It's supposed to be a scorned woman. That's why she looks like that. Mm-hmm. Like that. Mm-hmm.
I saw her, I never watched the movie, never. I saw her, I was like,
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was just me, but like, then my dad saw it, and he's like, yeah, no, it's not you. This room, I actually did have the door shut on me and locked. I couldn't get out until I had to go through the window, and my dad opened up the window.
Are you serious?
We had the fence, I used to like sit on the fence. I had a good balance, and something pushed me. Thank God I had no.
Then all of a sudden you hear this.
Oh!
Jesus Christ.
That was me, right?
Holy shit.
Let's finish up here, so.
My heart is beating. I thought I didn't have one.
So in this small room while you guys are here, one last thing, I'll be out of your hands here. We end up having a really weird mysterious leak coming downstairs. And we thought it was the bathroom. I ripped the bathroom apart and the floor comes apart. Because the way I designed it with being a tray I wanted to make sure that if I had to come back to work, I could access things where I could, so these panels come off. So I found wow, you know what she just said? I told her that was me reincarnating things. She goes, no. She goes, my stuff is falling off the shelves.
No.
That's not.
Shelves.
No.
That's not.
With some solder wasn't working, so I said, you know what? I was trying to teach her how to solder, and I'm down there, and I'll tell you, they had a dog here, right? But the dog was maybe this big, up on top, right? You see how it's all blended in now?
I see it.
I fixed it so many times. Thank God it's not there now. There was 3 deep. I'm talking about deep claw marks.
Really?
It looked like a Saint Bedard took his claws and went in there. And I would come over and I would put joint compound on it. I would sand it. Now we had another there right above my head. It looked like somebody took a flat can of bucket of red wax. I think we're done. You got it. And dumped red wax on the floor, and there was red wax. There was red wax dripping from here over the windows, dripping everywhere above the doors, and I above the doors, and I.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, I heard it too.
Yeah, this thing does not. One doesn't care about Jesus. The other thing does. It's really weird. And
It's right over
that it opens
You heard
the
it,
door
right?
in the attic because it was like a little cubby door that goes to coffee. We all crept over here, and you can hear somebody pacing the floors up there. So the next morning, these guys were like, we're not afraid. The next morning, Elka said, you better go check on them, make sure they didn't get massacred in the house. So we came over, and they were so scared, and instead of sleeping in here and everywhere, they had one guy slept here by the door, and the other guy slept here, so if something came. After everybody moved out, and we were going to start building the wall here.
Yeah. Yeah, I showed it to her. You want to see? Yeah.
So when you're
Hold on.
here, does it feel like one of the entities, whatever it is, doesn't like the attention and the other one does?
What it is it's I can't describe it because there is
Do you think if they surround their bed with salt, it would help?
I don't know.
It doesn't hurt to try, right?
Maybe,
Yeah.
because
Do you think if they surround their bed with salt, it would help?
I don't know.
It doesn't hurt to try, right?
Maybe,
Yeah.
because maybe,
Yeah.
because I couldn't sleep today. Like I was planning.
Oh, that's too much, Bill. I work with numbers.
Yeah.
I work with numbers.
Yeah.
It's independent. They don't talk back to you. They don't argue with you. You try to argue with them. Why are you volunteering together?
Maybe. Might work.
It's independent. They don't talk back to you. They don't argue with you. You try to argue with them. Why are you volunteering together?
Maybe. Might work.
You try to argue with them. Why are you volunteering together?
Maybe try putting salt around your bed.
Maybe.
I mean, it doesn't hurt, right?
Right? I mean, now what my room is, because it used to be our like, baby room, is actually, that was the room that,
Maybe try putting salt around your bed.
maybe.
I mean, it doesn't hurt, right?
Right? I mean, now what my room is, because it used to be our like, baby room, is actually, that was the room that, me and Courtney, used to sleep in, where, that, thing that we used to live under Courtney's bed.
Spooky?
Yeah, Spooky, that used to live in her room. But now when I'm sleeping in that same exact room, there's actually nothing in there. It's been quiet, nothing's been happening, so it's actually really peaceful in there.
Okay.
So,
That's good.
she has her things. She just doesn't talk about it as much. Yeah. Yeah, and I totally respect that. Totally respect that.
So I go home that night. I get sleep paralysis, and I'm sleeping. And I go home. I have a walk-in closet, and then the spooky room, the creepy we call closet, and then the spooky room, the creepy we call.
All right.
Yeah, but
just give
I
me a
mean, I
second.
used to, like, when we were getting that side ready up, I used to, like, clean inside and paint
Like
and
that.
things,
That's not
and I used to
possible
be
because you have a
totally
lower
alone
jaw,
there. Worst
so
decision
you can't
ever.
bite
So
like
now I
that.
know not to be
It took
alone.
a month to get it out of the house, and what it does, and what it does. So that's how it works. Then you get home, and I was like, oh my God, I got my best thing ever. Now your energy is positive. If you're able to raise your vibration above it, you'll be less affected by it. You'll be less affected by it. Like I can't breathe, because the energy is like that. But the problem is if it's negative, it tries to do things to you to make you more I can't breathe, because the energy is like that. But the problem is if it's negative, it tries to do things to you to make you more in your frequencies and try to do that. That could stay with you for the rest of your life. So you got to just, yeah. It's easier said than done, of course. But yeah, just try. It doesn't hurt to try. But yeah, just try. It doesn't hurt to try. Yeah, so I would put salt around your bed.
I don't know, it's going to be hard for me because I have a bunk bed.
On the floor. It's a barrier.
On the floor?
Yeah, on the floor. I would put salt around your bed.
I don't know, it's going to be hard for me because I have a bunk bed.
On the floor. It's a barrier. Yeah, on the floor. Yeah.
Sorry, do you want me to sleep?
That's a sleep paralysis, yeah.
I literally, my body freezes and I
Yeah.
can't open up and I see things.
Yeah.
Sorry, do you want me to sleep?
That's a sleep paralysis, yeah.
I literally, my body freezes and I
Yeah.
can't open up and I see things.
Yeah.
I can't move, and then I start freaking out. And I start going to panic attack.
Yeah, it's trying to do that to you.
Courtney,
To
I'll
lower
send
your
you just
vibration.
tonight, just in-
Yeah. So you have to clear the energy in your room. If you sage your room, you have to open a window that forces that bad energy out. Put salt around your bed. You might want to get a crystal called black obsidian. Put it under your pillow. Yeah, onyx will work too. Keep it under your pillow, but you have to cleanse it also. So some days keep it in the sun.
Okay, all right.
You know that'll help. Yeah,
Speakerphone
and a full moon. Yeah, make some moon
Hold on
water.
a second. I'm going to put the Father Ruben on speakerphone so he could talk directly, so Jay can hear him. Because he's got some. I'm going to put the Father Ruben on speakerphone so he could talk directly, so Jay can hear him. Because he's got some.
Farley and J. Dodd, they came up in two. Farley and J. Dodd, they came up in two. Doctor, and he called me up. He said, we're still going to come over. An hour before, he called me up and said, I'm sorry, buddy. It's so bad. I can't. Buddy, it's so bad. I cannot walk anymore. He goes, I got it. He goes, I can't make it over. So these are some of the things that we've been up against
There's a
lately.
good chance it'll never
that
leave.
struck me really weird because
There's a
I
good
thought
chance it will never
it was
leave,
gone.
but you can get it so that it doesn't bother
Reverend
you.
Farley and J. Dodd, they
No, I
came
don't
over
have
here.